What's going on, guys and gals? Jeff Kiesel, Kiesel Guitars. We were having a whole lot of fun. We were just laughing pretty hard, and so I had to tell the guys to stop making me laughing. They were just on one, so it was good times here. Here hanging out. We got a lot of really cool things today. Of course, we're going to do our Q&A, and I think today's Q&A is probably pretty important because we have our Black Friday promo, right? And so a lot of you guys are going to have questions about builds and everything Kiesel. So I'm going to try to go pretty quickly through some of the cool guitars that I have here. So the last one that I'm going to show off is this white 7-string Zeus, and that's my deal of the hour. And I'll show that off in a little bit. The price is going to be $1,300 shipped to you with a case. So if that already interests you, call my guys. It's deal of the hour because it's that price for this 1 hour live Q&A. Then I have a special build that I'm going to show off after my Kiesel Edition that I just finished up. So this is something that you guys don't see a lot of. This is an actual Kiesel Edition. What that means is I pick out all the woods, I work directly with the customer, and I send progress pics along the way. Guys, do I have it at a good angle? I can't, I don't have a camera, so I can't see. Mm-hmm. So a Kiesel Edition can be done to any model. This is a Type-V, and with any Kiesel Edition, you're going to get automatically a 5-piece body. So you're going to have a master grade top, master grade back, so it's got a matching back. And then you're going to have a laminate layer, whether it's wood or phenolic, between the top and the body. This one's got a Koa body and a master grade Koa fretboard and Koa neck with a real ebony inlay. And it's got the pickup bobbins that are ebony and master grade flame Koa. So let me flip this guy over so you guys can see the back side of it. So something just really special, really unique. Again, I don't do a lot of these builds. I do about 10 of them a year. These are builds I do with existing customers, meaning it's not a first-time buyer, because this is a fun thing for me too. And because I'm working directly with you guys, I want to know who the person is before I'm communicating on that kind of, intricate level. And I do these because I enjoy them. They're a lot of fun. See the Koa body sandwich. And this is for a customer named Nick, and Nick wanted to have a boost, so he's actually got a boost preamp in there, an EMG boost preamp. So we hid a battery in the ebony backplated cover, the cavity there. So anyhow, something very unique and different. Kind of show that guy off, move it at different angles so you guys can kind of see it. And then that neck, just absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, that's something that we can do here. And I do have a wait list. To get on that, you would just reach out to me directly, whether it's on my Instagram or my Facebook. And I don't take any money until I actually start on the build, so there's no deposit. The only thing that I do is when I put someone's place in line, when their turn comes up, if they bow out or say, hey, I don't want to do it, they can never get back on the list again. So I look at that as like a cancellation without taking a deposit. And I've only had that happen a handful of times where people have not been able to do it. So yeah, that's something that I can do for you guys if you want something extra special. And speaking of extra special, here is a custom solo that I did. And this is for a country western artist. And the idea behind the guitar was I wanted to use a real American flag, and I wanted the finish to look like actual denim. So this is our solo model. It's a 22 fret, and it's got an antique ash head plate and body with the American flag, and then doing a treatment process to the flag to take a cotton flag and make it look more like denim. It's got the Johnny Highland pickups in it. Just a beaut. And there's the back side of it. And then something just a little more attention to detail, the multicolored Kiesel logo, the alternating inlays, and just wanted to do something fun, and I had a good time doing this build. And, just coming up with an idea. Brandon, reached out and, got me going on this and just said, hey, let's do something that's got an American flag theme. So I did put a lot of thought into it. And then I figured, why not actually just put a real American flag into the guitar? And the cool thing about it is with the finish, it's got this soft feel to it. I did float the bridge on the actual part of the body. So I left that area where there's no flag underneath it because I didn't want that to kill any of the tones at all or mute any of the resonance from the bridge to the body. So there's actually a little platform that the bridge is sitting on to make sure the guitar is going to sound and play just like a normal guitar, but have this very unique, I think, very cool look. Not sure what you guys think about it, but definitely stoked on how it came out, and played around with cream pickups, off-white pickups, but I really liked the way the white pickups came out with the white knobs. I thought it looked good. So pretty stoked on this, and excited to see this out in the wild. So anyhow, all right, so there's that. And now my deal of the hour. And the reason why I picked this guitar today was everybody should have a 7-string in their arsenal, especially with modern music, jazz music. It doesn't really matter. In fact, the 7-string really was popularized because of jazz musicians. So this guitar is going to go for $1,300 shipped with a case. And the specs on it, it's got ash body. It's got the white raw tone finish, black ebony fretboard, staggered offset, mother of pearl inlays, black logo, and strap locks. So this guy can be shipped out, I would say tomorrow. Today we're probably too far gone for that. But you can see this guy. Just how gorgeous this piece of swamp ash is. Every piece is very unique. I love when the rings just line up with the bevel like that. Just really, really cool. So if you don't have a 7-string, or you do and you want another one, 25.5-inch scale, very lightweight guitar, great balance whether you're playing on the lap. I mean, you can see I'm not holding the guitar at all. It's just sitting there. And you can play for hours and hours and not have any issues at all. So if this interests you, call my guys, 858 Guitars, and we can get this guitar out to you for $1,300. So with that, I'm done flapping my jaw, and we're going to start doing some questions. Reminder, we do have our Black Friday promo going on, and I didn't bring my cheat sheet list, so I'm going to have to try to remember off the top of my head. Free options. We got Royal Ebony. We have the thinner or thicker neck profile. Do you remember what the other free things are?
I have the.
You have the list?
Here for you. Just hand this to me.
No, don't hand me your laptop. Just read it. Just what are they?
Free Royal
Is that the
Ebony.
list? Oh, look at K. All right, I got it. So here we go. Black. So you got the black pole pieces there. Tung oiled back of the neck. Free chambered body when you get a top. Discounted options. A 3-piece all maple neck or a 3-piece walnut with maple stripe, $100. Kiesel Polarity Actives, $50. Antique ash or blacked out ash, very popular options, $50. Buckeye tops, $400. Poplar Brill tops, $300. And then things that you can call in for. We can do splatter finishes up to 3 colors that are non-metallic, $200. Color treated boards, these are processes I do myself, whether it's a single color, multiple colors, or fades, bursts, whatever, $200. Right? Some of the fades and bursts can be $500. And then free saber or candy finishes when upgrading to flame or quilt master grade. So a pretty cool deal going on right now. And the promo is not just going to be ongoing. That's the only info I'm going to give you. So we're not going to let this thing wind all the way through Cyber Monday and then you're going to have another week. We're not going to do that. So some people will do all of November and they'll even go well into December. I'm just giving you guys a heads up. The shop is really busy. We're backed up. Normally this time of year, we're about 500 builds in the works. We're over 800 builds in the works. So we're busier than we ever are at this point in time of the year. And we're not even doing NAMM builds. Normally we're building all these guitars for NAMM, and obviously we're not going to the show because we're not having it. So we would be even further behind had we been doing the NAMM builds. So anyway, let's open it up for some questions. If you got questions about a build or whatever, just shoot.
Dustin John, what type of wood is the most weather resistant for a neck, and what is the best type of wood you can pair it with for a body?
I would go with a walnut neck, and for a body, I like mahogany. Alder is still a great wood, and we do a lot of swamp ash.
Is the HF2 discontinued, and will the HH2 ever be discontinued?
The HF2 has been discontinued for quite some time now, and the HH2, no plans to ever discontinue that, no.
Is there a different sound between headless and non-headless guitars?
There is, yeah. I would say headless guitars have a little more direct and focused sound.
Lou is wondering, Jeff, what are the tonal differences between thorium, illusionists, and lithiums?
So if you were to take, I think a lithium is a very well-rounded pickup. It's going to still have some good highs to it. And then if you take the thorium is taking and really boosting the low mid-range a lot, not making it as articulate. And then I would say the illusionist is right in between them. So if you want something with a crazy amount of output and you're not looking for a lot of highs out of it, because it's a bridge pickup anyway, then you might even want an illusionist. That would be a good kind of middle of the road between the two. But if you want something very articulate and that's super important to you, then I would stick with a lithium.
Could you buy a Lee Mckinney without a tremolo? If so, what would the cost be?
No, we don't offer them without trim, sorry. We could lock the trim though for you if you needed that. Like we could put some like a piece of wood in there so that basically the trim you can't pull back on, so it would just rest against the wood.
This one is actually from Facebook. I just wanted to make sure it got asked, but can you say hi to my daughter, Eliana? She watches your videos with me and is a big Kiesel fan.
What's up, Eliana? That's awesome. Thanks for the support, and that's cool that you guys are watching together. That's rad. I wish my kids would hang out more and do fun things with me. That was my kid reading the question. That's kind of cool.
Ryan Dorte, what do you think about Brazilian woods for electric guitars?
A popular one's Brazilian rosewood. We've had some bans on that over the years. Currently, it's not under a ban, but it's hard. When you have woods that can be rare or come into bans, it's hard to want to use it. The other thing about Brazilian rosewood is it's very oily, so it'll make a great fretboard wood, and that's pretty much it. You can have issues with necks over time making it out of that.
Joshua is asking, would you guys ever do a virtual builder?
Would love to have one, but with the complexity of the options we offer and the models and the diversity of us constantly changing, I think it'd be a hard task to keep up with, let alone to even have one.
Are your guys open for calls and orders on Friday?
We'll be here Friday. Yep, we will be here Friday. Yeah, we're obviously not here tomorrow. I want everybody to spend time with their families. The custom shop will be closed on Friday as well, but my, some front office people will be here. I'm even planning on coming in too on Friday for a little bit. So yeah.
Joe Brooks is wondering, what would be the cost of a blue candy Kiesel Edition K series?
I don't know, Joe. If you just got the standard, it would be the standard price. If you upgraded any of the woods, that would be when it starts to add to the price. But candy is a finish you already can get with a K series.
If you get a splatter finish on a neck through instrument, will the splatter end up on the back of the neck and the headstock?
If you don't get a tung oil neck, then yes. If you get a tung oil neck, then no.
Can you see and feel the texture of the wood grain on the body if you chose satin instead of RTF?
No, you can't. Yeah, satin is a smooth finish that has that matte look to it, where raw tone has that textured matte finish. That's the big difference there. And, raw tone, it's a more raw look, but it also does change the tone of the instrument. The instrument's going to be more natural sounding, which is going to have a little less high end. Because as you start to fill all the wood, you put in harder materials than the wood, and you build that little shell, that little layer that's going to make it sound a little brighter. So if you're a tone snob and you're really worried about having a warm sounding instrument, I definitely recommend raw tone. Plus, it is a really badass look.
Eric Richard, what is a Kiesel treated board?
It's a process that I do that colorizes the fretboard. So a long time ago when we were carving and I was doing, we were calling them Kiesel treated because, I was working on them, and it was a way to, just do some of the branding. And obviously the direction we've gone with the Kiesel name, it's a little redundant at this point, but back then is how it got branded and named. And, we still continue to use it because I do all of them myself.
Can I get a solo 6 with the carved top headstock?
You can, yeah.
This is a comment, but yo, Jeff, I put in my order for a hyperdrive today. I promised I'd buy an Explorer style model if you made one, so I just wanted to thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you, brother. That's really cool. Yeah, we listen to you guys. I mean, that doesn't mean we're going to do every single thing you guys request, but your requests are not just going to the wayside. I mean, I've been wanting to do a model like that for some time, and I've always said it's going to take a special person behind the model. Dan Jacobs from Atreyu, one of my favorite bands, and he's an awesome person too. That's what it took for me to really want to dive into the model and make it happen. I was pretty confident there would be the support, and you guys have been great. The hyperdrive is doing really good. My personal hyperdrive is almost done, so I'm pretty excited about that. As well as McRocklin has a hyperdrive finishing up, and Andy James also has a hyperdrive. He was like, I want one of these so bad. So I posted a picture of his hyperdrive yesterday on my story on Instagram.
Gary is wondering, if you did a Purple Heart layer on a 3-piece body for a Zeus acoustic, would you be able to see the layer in the sun hole?
In the sound hole? I don't think so, actually. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think so, no.
Can you get the Kiesel logo in custom colors, for example, blood or Ferrari red?
Not custom colors, but we do offer a red logo. So you can get a red logo. It's not the exact paint color that we have, but it is a really cool red. And you can look up examples. We've done quite a few of them, actually.
What is the price range and current wait time for a K edition?
So a K series guitar is starting at about $3,500, and that is about a 16-week wait. A Kiesel Edition is about a 2-year wait right now, and those typically run in the 6,000 range. So I just wanted to make sure I covered both bases in case you meant a K series.
David Hunter, is there an option for getting to pick a quilted maple top?
There is not, no. I mean, from time to time, we've done the pick your top sessions. I haven't done one since, I think, like April, because we've been so busy. Maybe it's been May. I don't know.
Can you build a solo or Vanquish with active pickups?
Vanquish, I don't think so. I don't remember, though. You have to call the guys. And a solo, I think we can, actually.
If I placed a custom order last week with chrome pickup covers, is it too late to change them to white instead?
Yeah, the moment you place the order, it's too late to change. Yeah, the thing is all of us, have different ideas a minute after we place our order to a minute before we get our guitar completed. And if we allowed order changes, it would just be too much of a cluster. So we don't allow any order changes at all. I'm sorry about that. But the good thing is it's pickups, so it'd be an easy thing for you to do aftermarket and change. We do sell our pickups separately. So
Nicholas is wondering, with the pics of a Richlight fretboard recently, is that going to be an option?
So that Richlight fretboard was done for a pro skater, Elliot Sloan, who is endorsed by Skatelight, which is a company owned by Richlight, and they use a material to coat all the ramps basically. And we did he's a guitar player, so we did a build for him, a collab with Richlight. Of course, they would love for us to use the material. We'll see what the future brings, but there's no immediate plans to add that.
Will is asking, I'm asking for a Kiesel guitar for Christmas. How long does that usually take to get here?
That's awesome, Will. Well, it depends. So if you're doing a custom, that's going to be about 12 to 16 weeks plus shipping. And then if you want one that's in stock, that can take anywhere from 3 to 5 days.
Will the TL60 ever come back?
No. Yeah, the Solo is just slaying it on sales. Yeah, I mean, that style guitar really, in my opinion, should have never been made as a neck through. That's, of course, my opinion. But the sales have showed that too, right? The Solo just absolutely kills it sales-wise.
What color finish would you recommend for a Pale Moon Ebony top? Is it possible to do translucent color shift?
So you can do that. Pale Moon tops they're very expensive, and they're getting more scarce for us. So you can call my guys for pricing on that. And keep in mind, any color you paint over it, you're going to see less of the Pale Moon. So, I think they make great fretboards. Tops, they're kind of cool, but I think they make great fretboards. And a fretboard's $300. So if it gives you an idea, I can get, really probably about 6 fretboards out of a top, 6 to 7. So if it gives you an idea on price, you're going to be in the 2,000 range for that top.
Is birch still offered on the Holdsworth model?
You can get birch, yes. It's an option.
What's your heaviest sounding guitar?
Heaviest sounding guitar. Well, I'd really say it's the pickups, right? So I would look at the thorium bridge pickup, and you can even go double thorium. We've had customers do that, thorium in the neck, thorium in the bridge. That'd be our heaviest sounding combo. And then typically people that want, that heavy sound are going to use like a mahogany body, a nice warm low end, but doesn't get muddy. Swamp Ash can get a little muddy if you have, if you're demanding too much out of it. So mahogany will keep that low end still tight.
Is it possible to have metal flake infused body with a Brill top on a 7-string Zeus?
I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. You'll have to call the guys, but we can do quite a bit here.
Could you do dark ebony as body material or neck wood?
We will not do it for either. It would be very, very heavy. We don't offer that, I'm sorry.
I like ash but want a darker color and don't want it painted. Can you name a few stains that would darken up the wood?
So we do something called blacked out ash, and that's actually on a promo right now. And then we do antique ash. So if you were to take ash, a very light colored wood, and then the blacked out is a blacked out version of it, and the antique ash would be a hue kind of right in between. So you can take a look online, just search Kiesel blacked out ash or Kiesel antique ash, and take a look at that. And if that interests you, call my guys, because we got the promo going on both of those finishes.
Tim is wondering, are one-piece master grade tops more expensive than regular master grade?
They are, yeah, because they're more rare. So when you think about it, a lot of times we get our billets are this wide. Well, when I have a one-piece top, it needs to be nearly double the width to get a top out of it, and so that's more rare. So it does cost more.
What are the pros and cons of a tung oil neck?
I really wouldn't say there's any con. Some people just like the way gloss necks look and feel. So I would say it's just a preference. The big pro, I would say, is you can refinish it yourself. And typically they're going to be faster, especially for sweaty people. If you sweat a lot, the tung oil neck is going to be faster for you, as long as you keep it clean.
Can you order a Zeus that isn't headless?
You can order an SCB guitar, which is similar. Check that out. And it's got a headstock on it.
Andrew Flores, would it be possible to get a finish like the Mandalorian armor?
Ooh, that'd be badass. That sounds like our semi-chrome. Yeah, if you got a semi-chrome and didn't pick a color, it would be similar to that. It's not going to be exactly like it, but it's going to have a similar look.
Is the Alan Holdsworth model available with extensive chambering how he liked it?
Yeah, that's how we offer it when you get the chambered body, is the way he was playing it. He didn't have anything that you guys couldn't get. We're not that company, you know. If we're going to do something for an artist, we want to do it for you. Unless you're Jesse Michelle or Brandon Ewing.
What's your favorite song?
My favorite song? Oh man, I don't know. I don't really have a favorite song. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in. I mean, like when I'm on my way home from work, like I put on like more chill music. When I'm on my way to work, I put on like, you know, typically more upbeat, like aggressive music. And when I'm working in the shop, depending on how long I'm gonna be working, I'll put on something that will be like kind of timeless, where I can listen to it for a long period of time and not get ear fatigue.
Max is wondering, is the Leia able to be chambered? Apologize if this has been answered. Your race video was sick. Your car sounds amazing.
Oh, thanks, man. The Leia is not something we can chamber, and the reason why is it's such a small body, and you know, realize we can't. So obviously this isn't a Leia, but using this as an example, you know, not chambering where the pickups are or the bridge. We have an electronics cavity here that's already chambered out. And then you have your switching for the Leia up here. So you really don't have a lot of options to chamber and further reduce weight on a Leia. And that's why I don't offer it, because it would be so minimal that I don't think it would affect the tone enough or the weight enough to charge you guys for it. So we just decided not to offer it.
Which model would you recommend to get a bare tone on?
Probably the Aries, I think. Yeah, that's probably going to be the best one.
What was it like designing Alan Holdsworth guitar?
So I didn't design Alan's guitar. I did the redesign with him with the extra chambering and the bridge change. So I worked with him for that. But my dad did all of the original work on all of the models, actually. And I mean, the only thing I was really instrumental in was Alan really wanted a headless guitar. And at times he was playing some of his other model guitars that were not at the time Carvin. It was before we had the HH2. And I just, in a board meeting, I just stood up and I was like, guys, this is ridiculous. We would do anything in the world to get this guy playing our guitars. Let's just make him a headless guitar. Because, you know, it was at the time, it was pretty like, headless guitar, those are weird. You know, it was 2011. And, you know, I just really pushed hard for us to do it for him. And that was kind of really my involvement. But my dad did a great job designing the guitar with Alan. Made him several prototypes, including bolt-on, neck-through, and set neck instruments, and painted them black. Obviously, you could see which one was bolt-on, but the neck-through, he didn't know which one was neck-through or set neck, and did like the tone of the set neck. But he was always a great guy to work with. I mean, the guys here will tell you that. I mean, he was just such a sweetheart. He'd come in and just the best guy.
Cody's wondering, since Swamp Ash is getting scarce, what would replace it on the Arctic builds in the future?
I don't know, Cody. Really don't know, man. I just think what's going to happen is we're still going to be able to get it. I don't think it's going to go away. We're just going to have to charge more for it, I think is what's going to ultimately end up happening.
Will is asking, what's the best guitar for playing Pantera and Metallica?
I would say for something like that, I mean, you probably want some EMGs. You know, that's pretty standard. And then it really doesn't matter much after that. As long as you have a similar amp patching and a similar pickup, I think you can make, you know, most of our models work for that. If you really are, you know, serious about it, I would call up and talk with Chris. He's going to be the guy that's probably going to be the best here to talk about a custom build to do that. And you'd have to send in the EMGs, but that's what I would recommend.
What's your most high gain pickup?
It'd be the thorium.
What are the tonal properties of a Zero Cote top?
Zero Cote is going to be a brighter wood. It is a harder wood. So it's going to be similar, not quite as hard as ebony, but it's going to be brighter than even a flame maple top. So I would pair that with probably a swamp ash body is going to be your best bet to kind of balance the two out. Mahogany will work too, though, if you chamber it.
Does Kiesel have any B-stock guitars?
We don't have B stocks, but from time to time we will have, let's say, a music video we're loaning out a guitar for. In fact, we just loaned out a guitar yesterday for a commercial, TV commercial shoot. And so an artist will use it for sometimes a week or, a couple months while they're shooting something. And then we'll get the guitar back because they don't have a need for it anymore. And we'll sell those from time to time. I think we have a couple that are up there right now.
What is the most expensive top wood in your workshop?
That's going to be a K top and probably flame koa. And you're looking at, price tag of, anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 depending on the top.
Thomas is wondering, do you guys have a finish that would be like your fire finish but ice with red or white and blue?
We don't, but I mean, I could do something for you if you wanted. If you wanted it to substitute like the red in fire for blue, and you wanted to substitute the yellow in the fire for white, I could do something like that, like a custom fire inspired. Maybe like, I don't know, we'd call it blue fire or something.
Cecil is asking, is the Hipshot headless trim a big upgrade from the previous J custom trims?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not just tuning stability, because that was a big one. It's also tone, and then the use of any strings, right? I mean, with the J custom, with their nut, you have to use a double ball end string, and with the custom Kiesel nut, you can use any string. So yeah, it's a pretty big upgrade.
How would you construct your dream guitar?
K series, I already did.
What is your most mid-focused pickup?
Oh, mid-focused. I would say the Illusionist would not be a bad choice for that, for a bridge, and then probably for a neck, you could probably just go with the Beryllium. Probably be a good combo, the two paired together. And if the Illusionist has a little too much output, all you have to do is just drop the pickup height maybe a half a turn on the screws on each side, and that'll help out, smooth it out a little bit.
Any plans for another Cole Roland signature guitar?
No, I mean, we just finished that up. Cole, in 6 days, sold out of his run. So that was great. Yeah, that just ended not that long ago.
What is your favorite band, like early 2000s, such as I Lay Dying?
Early 2000s, what was I listening to? I was listening to a lot of Deftones and Atreyu, early 2000s. Those bands, I mean, I wore them out, yeah, I listened to them a lot.
Samuel, have you ever done a quarter sawn oak top?
I've never worked with oak, so no.
Joseph is asking, is it possible to get a Brill top with a translucent color of the top?
Oh, we do it all the time. Absolutely.
How old are you?
I am 41.
Brian, what is the process of applying for a career at Kiesel?
First step is you got to come in, right? You got to come in and fill out an application in person. And the reason why we do that is if we open it up to emailing and resumes, we would have hundreds a week. Maybe not a week, but we'd have hundreds a month for sure. So step one is you got to be able to get to the factory here. And that shows us that, you're committed at least. And then, we take a look and maybe get an interview and maybe get hired.
Can I get a Call My Guys inlay on my fretboard?
That'd be rad.
Can you make an 8-string with a body made from skateboard wheels and purple acrylic?
Wow. No. It'd be cool, but no, I can't do that. I mean, I guess I technically could, but I probably won't do that.
Brock is wondering, is a semi-chrome British Racing Green possible?
Not a British racing green, no. And the reason why is if you look at like a color that's very solid looking, meaning it has no transparency to it, there's no way to really make it reflective, right? Because the whole point of having that mirror is you have to have something over it that tints it, but it's still reflecting back to you. So that would be really hard. I mean, we could do a darker green for you, but not as dark as a British racing green.
Is there a single coil option on the Type X or Vader?
You can get single coil pickups, yeah.
Is it possible to build a metal flake infused body with a Brill top on a 7-string Zeus?
Someone asked that. You'd have to call my guys. That's the second time that same exact question's been asked. Not maybe not from you, but they asked on another thing. I've never been asked that in the live twice today. So yeah, call the guys. Depending on exactly what you want, you'd have to call the guys.
Mike is wondering, can you get a gloss finish with a bolt-on neck?
You can. Yeah, there is an upcharge for that, but yes, you can.
Alex is asking, what's the reasoning behind not offering glossed finished fretboards on your necks?
Because when you go to press the frets in, it's going to crack the clear. So it's a pretty good reason not to do it.
What finish of yours do you think would look amazing on a Hawaiian beach?
Ooh, I'm going to go with Blue Hawaii. Or Hawaii Blue. It's actually what it's called.
Tony is wondering, with white back and side option, can you request white on the back of the neck and headstock as well?
It would come with it automatically if it was a neck through. Yes.
Will you consider making an Explorer shape?
It's called the Hyperdrive. Check it out.
Can customers send in their guitars for a setup?
If it's a Kiesel, yeah, you can.
David is wondering, are your ebony headstocks finished in satin, gloss, or tongue oil?
It would be what you want on it. So if you wanted it gloss, we can gloss it. If you wanted it oiled, we can oil it. And if you want it raw toned, we can raw tone it. I wouldn't recommend satin though. I would either get, what happens with satin is it can start to look, because all the layers build up to get it perfectly flat and all that, it can start to look a little hazy. So I'd recommend a raw tone if you want something to protect it better than a tongue oil. The raw tone would be the way to go.
What's your favorite headless guitar model?
The Vader. Yeah, the Vader. I mean, I love the Leia, obviously, for sentimental reasons, but the Vader is still my favorite.
What is one top wood you haven't used but want to?
Boy, I can't think of anything that I would want to use, but I just haven't yet. I don't know.
Derek is wondering, what is your slim neck compared to? Is it like a Strat neck?
Oh no, it's a lot slimmer than that. Yeah, it would be close to like an Ibanez Wizard, but not as thin.
Do you guys offer acoustic guitars?
We do acoustic electrics, yeah.
What's the model of that semi-hollow behind you?
That is the Frankenbali, the FG1. Actually, FG1 with F-holes, though. This normally doesn't have F-holes. Dang.
What is the lightest model you offer?
I would say probably it's going to be a toss-up between a Zeus and a Leia. The Leia has a smaller body, but it's a neck through. So neck wood is typically going to be heavier than like swamp ash, like a body wood. So, you know, we can get in the sub 5 pound range. We won't guarantee that, but we can, you know, really try to build it to be as light as possible.
All right, looks like you got a question from Baby Yoda.
Dang.
He's asking, can you order a Zeus with a headstock?
Yeah, it's called an SCV. Check it out. Second time for that question too. Yeah, use the force, dude.
Do you work with Evertune bridges?
We do, yeah.
Kayla King is asking, hey Jeff, it's KK. Do you have any Thanksgiving Day plans?
What's up, KK? I'll be hanging out with my parents, my wife, Zach, and KK, my KK. That's it. Yeah. Just chilling, just low key, and ham, turkey, all the normal stuff. What are you guys doing?
Will you ever consider offering more options for binding?
No. You don't get enough requests for binding.
Is the Aries without the bevel basically a DC model but with a bolt-on neck?
No, it's still different than a DC. It's not the same.
Quite a bit of people wondering, one, what your favorite Thanksgiving side dish is, and two, white or dark meat.
So I don't like turkey at all. It makes me feel sick. I've never been a turkey fan. Zach, stop. You're driving me crazy. Put that away. Ham. It's not funny, Zach.
I'm trying to be funny.
Well, then don't laugh. Ham is what I like for Thanksgiving. So we'll do a ham and a turkey. If I had to eat turkey, I would go with breast meat. Just because like the darker meat is like kind of like greasy tasting for turkey. Chicken, I like any of it. It doesn't matter. Favorite side dish though is probably my wife's green bean casserole. It's pretty damn good.
John is asking, will you ever show us lefty players some love and offer a lefty in one of your deals of the hour?
Probably not, John, just to be honest with you. Lefties are about 2% of my sales, so I don't want to push 98% of my watchers out and say, sorry, you can't buy this guitar. I totally get where you're at, but I think appealing to 98% of the audience is just going to win every time. So if it was a higher ratio, then sure, but sorry, man. I'm sure you get it. At least we don't charge extra for lefties, and we offer them. So that's pretty cool.
Can I order a guitar and have either Jesse or Brandon put in the build so I can do what the heck I want with the build?
Yeah, we could do that. Absolutely. It'd be a no return, though.
That's awesome. And we have to keep it with options that are allowed, right?
Yeah, options that are allowed, Jesse and Brandon.
I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, we did have somebody today was like, hey, I want to order an Aries, but I just want the little bevel, not the top one. I'm like, we don't do that.
Nick is wondering, will there ever be an Ultra V7 again?
I don't think so. If we had the right artist come along that needed that, sure. But without that, I would say no.
Would you ever bring back the Kaler Tremolo?
No plans for that. I don't want to say never, but I don't plan on that ever.
Kayla Kiesel,
Oh, boy.
how many times a day do you poop?
Oh, wow, Kayla. Dang, probably less than you. Probably less than you. And for shorter durations, too. And I stink the bathroom up less than you do. That's my daughter.
Hector's wondering, where do all the guitars from the in-stock section come from? Are they orders that were abandoned?
Most of the in-stock ones are ones we put through, so we can try to keep some inventory going. Some will come from NAMM or trade shows that we build up. Some will come from a new model release where we want to build so many of them. Occasionally, the guys will run the wrong option on something and we have to rebuild the guitar. And maybe it could be at a next stage, it could be in finishing, and then we realize, oh shit, something's wrong. We need to, make a change, and we have to rebuild it for the customer. So we'll continue with the build. And then sometimes people get their build and it's not exactly what they wanted, and they have a 10-day trial period. So that's fewer of those. But usually it's us putting the builds in.
California burrito or carne asada fries?
Ooh, I'm going to go with neither. I would go with carne asada burrito with no pico. That's my move.
Thinking of getting my first build, but I'm intimidated by the options and don't want to screw myself over. What advice do you have?
Yeah, the options list is very unfriendly. It's very overwhelming. And not having a virtual builder or a step-by-step where you click something and then you make one decision and then click and make another decision. It's like, holy shit, how do I figure all this out? So I totally get it. I would recommend calling in for your first order and, maybe screenshot some things on your phone that you like, and you can tell the salesperson or even email the salesperson while you're on the phone with them and just interact with them. You know, the guys will take the time with you to make sure you get what you want. That's what I would recommend, rather than using the builder, because it can be confusing. And most of our orders are over the phone, you know, so don't feel weird like, oh, I can't figure this out and I have to call. That's why we're here. There's so many things that aren't on the builder that we can do, you know, and you just got to ask. You know, you got to call in for those.
Would a translucent purple look good on a Poplar Brill top, or would the grain of the wood be ruined?
So that's a great question. If you really like translucent purple and you want Poplar, what I would recommend is getting a California burst. What that's going to do is it's going to gray out the middle of the wood, enhancing the grain. You're going to get that cool purple look with the California burst, a thin burst all the way around. If you don't know what that is, search Kiesel California burst and purple, maybe even type that in. That's what I would recommend. It's a hot look. Looks great on a beveled model, especially with an antique ash body. You can either show off the body or have the purple wrap onto the body, depending on what you order. But that's what I would recommend. If that's not what you want and you're still looking for a purple guitar, I would go with a select purple drink stain. You can take a look at the Leia on the Kiesel website. There's a 6-string Leia. It's the main image. It's a purple, that's select purple drink over Poplar. That's also a really cool look. So I would go with one of those two routes is what I would do if I was getting purple on a Poplar top.
How long does your process take to make a new model from concept and design to build?
Totally depends on the model. I mean, I've had models that have been pretty quick and easy for me, and I've had models that have taken me 8 months. So it just really depends. How out of my element I am, that is going to take me longer.
What's that red and white guitar?
This one probably. It's a custom guitar that I did. It features a real American flag sunk into the guitar. And you can see it doesn't stick up at all. And it's got a really cool feel to it. So the idea was to give it a denim look. It's a cotton flag. I couldn't find any denim flags this size. They're all really small, iron-on or sew-on. So I got a real American flag, cotton, and then did a process to it to make it look like it's denim. So if you thought it looked like denim, thank you. Anyhow, that's what that is. It's for an artist, a country artist.
Is it possible to move the volume knob further away from the pickup, like in Zeus and Vader in a custom-built Leia?
We do have the options to do custom controls. So you can call the guys and figure out exactly what you want. Now, moving it further away on a Leia, you're probably going to have to delete the tone. So we could take the volume and put it where the tone is and just not have a tone control. That's probably your best bet on that model because the cavity is really small and you don't want two knobs too close together and make it weird to access them. So that's what I would probably do. And, you know, the reality is a lot of guitars we build have no tone knobs.
Kevin is asking, do you think upgrading the builder would make a difference in sales considering Call My Guys is always the better option?
I don't know. You know, I think it would make it easier for people that, let's say, are overseas and maybe don't speak English and they're watching these. I've had people message in and like, hey, Jeff, can you talk slower? Because I'm from another country and I don't speak English and like I can't really like change who I am or you know how I do things. So they have to like, you know, go back and watch and try to translate and all that. So I think for that type of customer, which we do sell a lot of guitars internationally, I think that would really help. But at the same time, I mean, I'm looking at guitars and I can only build like 4,000 guitars a year and that's all I want to. And I'm already selling this year. I got to figure out if I'm going to cut off sales or not because we're going to probably pass that mark. So I'm already selling as many guitars as I want to. So how do you spend all that money, effort, and resources to develop something that's going to make you sell more when you don't want to sell more? I guess that's the catch-22, right? So would it be nice to have a builder? Yes, it would. I would like that very much so.
How did you start building guitars?
So my grandfather started this company in 1946, and my dad's been running it since 1970. And when I was a kid, I wanted to make money, right? And so my dad would bring home work for me. And it started out, I was stripping the 4-conductor wires for pickups. So I got paid per piece, right? Not by like, hey, Dad, I worked from this time to this time. No, I got paid by the piece. So I had to hustle to make some money. And I would sit there and work, at 8 years old, and my buddies are out playing and stuff. It's not that I didn't go out and play, I did. But as soon as it would start to get kind of like dusk outside, all right, I'm going in, and I would start working, and pretty much worked, every day, a little bit every day, and just able to save up money. And I liked that, and I liked working on guitars, and that led to working on electronics. I had to do stuff from home, and my dad would bring work home for me. And then when I finally had my own car, my own wheels, my first job at the shop, literally the day after I got my car, it happened to be spring break, and I didn't get it at the time. My dad was like, "Oh yeah, you're working full time this week." It's like, dude, it's spring break. I just got my car. I'm 16. I was pissed. All my buddies are out, at the beach and doing all this fun stuff. I didn't really get it. I get it now. But I worked that whole week, worked 40 hours. And, when you're 16, it seems like an eternity, especially when you just get your license. But my first job at the shop was fret dressing. And I actually had a good time. And I learned to really enjoy it very quickly. And then wanted to work more and work overtime, and just, snowballed.
Lori Hyde, hey Jeff, is it possible to build a Jason Becker with a Kiesel trim?
What's up, Lori? Depending on the model, yes. You call the guys. Depending on the model.
Josh is asking, is there a specific reason the company wants to keep sales where they are?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good number. I don't want to have a second shift. I don't want to grow into a bigger building. I like the ability, with the number of guitars we ship out each day, the quality control we have over them. And I think that's important, and our quality control has stepped up significantly this year. And we're really just putting a lot of procedures in place to give you guys the best damn guitars.
Can you ship to Korea?
Yeah, we ship worldwide, direct. Yep.
Jonathan is wondering, I saw a Type X bass on your feed. Would you do a short scale Type X 5-string bass? Is that a call your guys?
So the Type X bass, we did for a really good customer, the first one, and he paid a custom programming fee. So if somebody wanted a short scale version, that could be done, but there's a pretty hefty programming fee. So it'd be one of those, call my guys, and if you're willing to pay the custom programming fee, we could take a look at it.
Tim is asking, how did you meet your wife?
I used to shoot pool, and she worked at the pool hall I was shooting pool in, and I would talk to her, but I didn't want to do the cheesy hit on her thing, because she's very attractive and every guy's hitting on her, and I just didn't want to be that guy. So I was just nice to her and would talk to her every night that I would see her. And finally one night she had a shirt on that she was walking by me. She had a shirt on, and it said there was a heart, and it said Motocross Boys. And so there was my opportunity, right? Because I race cars. I've never been a motorcycle guy at all, ever. And so she goes walking by, and I'd been talking to her, off and on, just being friendly with her for probably about 2 months. And she goes walking by, and I go, damn it. And she's like, what? I'm like, nothing. She's like, what? And I'm like, I knew I should have raced motorcycles. And she turned bright red. So I was like, oh, wow. And so when she turned bright red, I knew, I kind of struck a little bit of a nerve there, because she got all embarrassed. And I said, well, I race cars, but not motorcycles. And she's like, oh, really? And I'm, yeah. And she's like, oh, that's cool. And I'm like, well, I'm probably not your type anyway. So then she looks at me and she says, actually, you're totally my type. And then I turned bright red and I got kind of choked up, like speechless, like, oh shit. Here's this girl that I've been wanting to talk to for, a couple months and just playing it super cool. And it just worked out. And yeah, here we are. We've been married over 21 years. It's crazy. Time flies.
You have 4 minutes.
I got 4 minutes left. I'm surprised Zach wasn't like, we're out of time, cut into the video, like while I was talking about how I met his mom.
So,
Not that you haven't heard that story before.
I haven't heard the full story.
Oh, you've never heard that one?
No.
Oh, I've said it on my live before. People have asked. Yeah, that's how I met her.
Can you build a 19-string guitar with a coronavirus-shaped body?
Dang, for you, yeah. For you and $50,000, sure. Call my guys.
Can you add P90s to any model if the customer sends them in?
Not any model, but you can call my guys if you're serious about it.
Can you buy an 8-string Andy James signature without a maple neck?
Yes, you can. Yeah, call the guys.
Is there a way to call, online call? Being in the UK, it can get quite expensive to ring up.
No, the best way if you're international is to just email in. That's going to be the best way. And for that, it would be international@kieselguitars.com.
Ed is wondering, when do you plan on releasing the 75th anniversary K series?
Dang, I don't even know about that one. I don't even know what that would look like. I don't know that we're going to do anything like that. I mean, I love the way the K series looks. I don't have anything I would want to change about it still. Yeah, that's going to be this next year. It's nuts. Dang.
Alex is asking, do you treat Carbon customers the same as you treat Kiesel customers regarding maintenance?
Absolutely. Yeah, as long as it's not a broken power amp. Absolutely. Yeah, we get too many of those calls. It's not that I don't feel for the customer. I just don't like what the other side has done. They have no phone number, no customer support. They took your money and they don't want to do anything for you. And then customers call us all pissed off, and then we tell them, hey, we haven't even talked to that side of the family. Do you talk to all of your family? And then it kind of clicks. Yeah, you have a carven guitar. Absolutely. Doesn't mean that, we have parts for some of the older guitars. We don't have parts for everything, of course. Just like Chevy, they build a, 1955 Bel Air. You can't go get a bumper from Chevy for that. So same thing with, one of our older guitars. We're not going to have all the parts, but we're still going to help you out.
Which of the Kiesel guitars does Stevie T own?
He's got a few of them. He's got a Type X, a Vanquish, CS6. He's got a bass. I think it was a multi-scale JB. He's got some other stuff too. I think he has an SCB.
Pedro is wondering, what kind of shoes do ninjas wear?
They don't wear shoes.
Sneakers.
Oh, dang. That's pretty good.
If Bob Saget was a famous guitar player, what genre would he play?
Dang, I don't know, man. I don't know. We were just talking about Bob Saget the other day about how filthy his mouth is. Dang, dude. We started talking about that because of George Carlin and doing the narration on Thomas the Train. And then we're talking about Bob Saget. Anyhow, that's all the time that we have. We're leaving the note on Bob Saget. It's all the time we have today. We do have the Black Friday promo going, so if that interests you, call my guys to find out more. Guys, I appreciate you. I'm thankful for you guys, watching these lives, supporting what we do, allowing us to grow the way we've grown, and continue to put love and craft into these guitars and make them even better. I want all of you guys to be safe with your families if you celebrate Thanksgiving or not, but go out there and be safe. I don't think you should sit at home and be afraid for what's going to happen. Go out there, wear a mask, right? I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to go out and I'm going to wear my mask and I'm going to go, be with my family. And I think life's too short to just sit inside and wait for your number to be punched, right? I mean, just be smart, but have a good time. And if you know somebody that is alone, call them, you know, take that 5 minutes out of your day, FaceTime them, shoot them a text. You know, suicide rate is really high, obviously even higher than normal. You know, the holidays is already bad, and then we got this stupid pandemic going on.